Oh, you want us to do it?
Oh,
Yeah, hey, look,
Okay.
you're
Hey,
live.
we're on.
Welcome into My Chamber TV. We are the heartbeat of the community, and we are actually featuring some pretty cool stuff today. We are honored with not only Gene Hungaville from
Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce,
and the man with the plan,
mayor of everything.
Mayor
You know
John
this-
Gaston.
Well, you know he's taller, sitting here taller than us.
You know, we were trying to figure this
I
out.
can get
What-
a shorter chair if you want. It's
Why
not
are
a
you
problem.
turning so pink and blushing?
Because I'm healthy. And the COVID-19 scared of me.
Yes.
Oh
he's
boy!
got-
Hey, I never heard
he's
that
got
before, but I
good-
can believe
good
that.
circulation, I guess.
Really good
Yes, here we are
circulation.
sitting in his right hand and his left hand.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
it's like-
I'm surrounded by beauty today.
This was
This
a
is
setup.
awesome.
Oh, yeah, you should
Okay.
love that,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
we are
I'm
here to
tickled
talk
pink.
about serious stuff now.
We are.
We
so,
are. We are.
So today's Chamber of Commerce, My Chamber TV show, is about the COVID-19 and what it's doing about our businesses. Because most business owners are pretty much freaked out about right now.
Yes, they are.
That's true.
You've got some interesting stuff that you put up on the screen that we were looking at earlier about where is this all over. But
Right.
I will tell you right now, I spent the entire last week since it's been 2 weeks today that the president put his announcement out, and then it all just started. So it's only been 2 weeks today that the momentum started to pick up and people really started to pay attention to this.
That's right.
That happened on Wednesday. Thursday, the City Council in Tarpon, or this commission in Tarpon, had an emergency meeting that evening, or Thursday evening, and canceled the Fine Arts Festival, canceled all of the events beginning right then and there through the end of March. They were going to revisit it at the next commission meeting, which was a couple of weeks away, and that was last night. We'll get into that in a second as to what the progress that they've made there. But the Fine Arts Festival was canceled with basically 11 hours notice. We had artists in town, we had the ground set up, we were ready to go. But how do you make the best of probably one of the worst situations the Chamber had been handed, was to immediately sit down, take a dismantling. What we did after that commission meeting was go back to the office and put out at 8:30 that night to all of the artists and the sponsors, this is what's happened, stop where you are. We gave them a couple hours notice that this meeting was going on, that people came from all over the country. And we were talking about, let's just put everybody in place. We'll work all night if this goes through, but I don't have a really good feeling about this.
Right.
We went through, and at the time, it was, why are we doing this? Why aren't we waiting until the end of the weekend? Now, in hindsight, with the way this has really spread, they did the right thing. So we dismantled everything the next day, had vendors coming back, or all the fence came back down, the golf carts disappeared, tables and chairs were set up, tents, all of the stuff, porta potties, all of it, out of there in 24 hours.
Wow.
And I still had to pay for it all. But the fact is, it was by Saturday completely dismantled, and we still had, I met several artists that were coming from across the country that showed up on Friday that didn't get the word. Monday, we had a meeting at the co-chair of that and I, and we talked about how do we make the best of this situation for everybody win-win. Do we postpone, which is where it started. We talked with a couple of other large organizations that have art fairs that we're all keying together, and talked to them about how were they handling it. Something this size cannot be postponed. We ended up, making the decision to cancel. One of the wonderful things that came out of this is the coalition that we are now starting to form in the state of Florida, between the different organizations that put on these events. We're talking to each other. I did a national podcast earlier this week, talking about how we handled this situation. This has been marvelous because we're all sort of competitors, but not really competitors. We're looking at how do we coordinate together to make the best for the artists, because without the artists we would not have an art show. Coming out of this, I'm feeling like, wow. In the last 3 years, we have brought this organization's Fine Arts Festival up to the level of Winter Park, which was the weekend after us. They called us and said, how are you handling this? We understand you just got caught. They were the weekend after us. Mainsail from down in St. Pete is the 10th largest in the state. I'm just flabbergasted that, wow, Artist Talk, we are now becoming one of these organizations that they're taking us seriously. Then getting a call to be on a podcast out of New York, because we got caught short in talking with people from all over the country that do this for a living. I was a little intimidated, but I learned a lot, and I also got some emails afterwards saying, we learned a lot from how you handled this. Now, how we handled that was giving the artists a choice, since we realized we couldn't postpone, because artists are on a circuit, and by May, which is the end of our season, they're going north. And if this is over by May, which would be wonderful, you get fined for that. You do realize
that was a buck.
I'll give you a buck.
Yeah. Okay. You know the rules.
I do.
Okay.
Get paddled later.
Oh, no. This is serious stuff.
Yeah. We do, but we keep it light, though.
We do.
I don't
Yes,
want
we
everybody,
do.
I don't want everybody jumping out of their buildings.
No, no.
Of course, in Tarpon, that's one story. You're going to hurt your knee.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, 2. There's a couple of 2s. You might hurt an arm or
Is that
something.
why you're no longer living there? Did we run you out of town?
Pretty much.
I think
Okay.
he ran himself out of town.
Anyway, we handled the artists by giving them a choice. Do you want a full refund? If you have a full refund, we'll be glad to do that. And then you can go through the jurying process and get in next year. We're going to be using the same judges and jury that we had before
That's
for this
excellent.
year. They have all wanted to sign, and 2 of them, of the 3 of them, 2 of them immediately, and then the third one finally said, don't pay us this year. We didn't finish our job. I mean, that's a lot of money.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
was flabbergasted. I mean, so we're moving forward with, okay, then, or if you would like to leave your money in place, we will roll it into next year, and you won't have to go through the jurying process again. You can then have your same booth space, and you are in. And some of these booth space are hard fought over. The
Yeah.
corner booths,
Oh,
which
yeah.
are
Oh, I can
premium.
imagine.
I know, been part of that.
And
I don't like where I'm here, blah, blah, blah.
Yep,
blah.
and so of the 205 artists, 91 needed their money back. But the emails that I got from that, and Lucianne, who works with me with the artists that got it, said things like, we really appreciate the fairness of this, but I'm going to have to get the money back because we don't know what's going to happen over the next few months. Please, it's okay. A couple other like that, but we had 3 or 4 that said, this is amazing. We have never felt so in control in a disaster.
And boy, there's a lot to be said for that.
I never,
Yeah,
it
that's
didn't
a-
really
that's a
occur
big
to
deal.
me, but I thought, this is fair. Anyway, instead of sending it back through this application process to their credit card, of those, 91 needed their money back. We wrote 91 checks.
Yeah.
I hand-signed every one of them, put a note on the stub on the bottom of it, said, hope to see you in 2021. I got we got them in the mail that Thursday. Which is when the bookkeeper came in. We got them out the door, got them in the mail that afternoon. On Saturday, I got 2 emails from people saying, cannot believe this has been 1 week since the festival, and I have my money back in hand.
You just
Wish
jumped right in there.
the other festivals had done this. I thought, we did it, it was the right thing,
Of Right. course.
and the feedback is tremendous. Of that, then, about... let's see, 91. Then we had another 40 that said, roll us into next year. The other 70, 65 we didn't hear from, and they're sort of dribbling in, okay, roll me over. When do we have to make a decision? Well, we got a couple of months for them to make a decision. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking, this is going to be great. But the word of mouth in this community is, this is really good for us. This is, they really think about it. We're important.
And they see how you really step up in times of craziness.
Well, and they're businesses. That's the
Yes.
thing. They're artists, but they are our business. These people.
Well, and there may be no more business this year until after summer when it starts all over again, supposedly.
No, actually, it goes all year. In May, they start north, and then they go up to, start going up to the northern part of the Midwest. In the summertime, they're in the UP. They're up in the
Yeah,
Minnesota.
but that's what I'm saying. Depends on how long this lasts.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
Because a lot of so this is what I'm hearing, that there may be a lot of I know President Trump wants to think that everything's going to be good by Easter, and by God, I hope it's the truth. But I just
That's awfully optimistic.
it is.
It
You know,
is.
but you know what? You have to have optimism.
Yes.
You do.
It's good. It's good to have a goal.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, that's true.
so the goal is to get everybody better. We get it, right? But if it doesn't, and it does last, even though they lift the ban on going to work and trying to get out and blah 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 stuff like that, I don't think they're gonna jump right into having big open like conventions, and I think
I don't either.
I think that whole world of big meeting spaces right now is going to be slow until probably September.
You really think it's going to be that long?
I do. I think we're going to be okay to like even Universal Studios has already said, hey, we're probably going to push beyond April 1st now to be closed, and to have a theme park that size. Go, we're going to wait. We're not going to jump open and open our doors on it because it still may not be a good thing to open your doors. So I think big meeting areas and conventions, stuff like that, I think it's going to be August, September before those really come.
I was thinking
open.
more like June, July. And the
I don't
reason
know.
I'm thinking that is a very good friend of mine, ex-wife, is in China, a teacher. And they're getting word back that we're going to start looking at opening the schools again. Now, they have to give them 3 weeks' notice. This has been just about 6-8 weeks now since this hit over in, I can't remember, Wuhan. This person is just outside of Beijing, and so it's not in the epicenter, but it's out, enough where, okay, this is how we're looking at coming back. You have a week to get back to start coming back, then 2 weeks of quarantine. So they need to give 3 weeks notice before they can open the schools.
Okay, and I understand.
And they're starting some of that
understand
now.
the Chinese side of it, and this is the political side that I really don't like to get into than other shows that I do. But it needs to be addressed because a lot of people are going, well, South Korea did this and South Korea did that, and China's doing this and they're getting better, and that's great because in China, when they tell you to stay in your home,
You do.
You stay in your home. Here, we tell you to stay in your home. Oh, I'm going to go out for a jog in the park, or I'm going to go down to the beach where there's 5,000 other people, right? Because the American temperament is, well, don't tell me what to do.
Right.
I'll do what I want to do unless you make it laws where I can't do what I do, and then I'm probably still going to do it anyway. And we look at down at Miami, the biggest hot spot in Florida. Right?
Right.
What did they do? They all jumped out there on boats and they started chaining up and the whole 9 yards. They did exactly what they were told not to do.
Okay.
So with China, yeah, they're going to get back quicker. South Korea was the smartest. And here's one of the problems.
Communist country. They give orders, martial law.
That's it, man. When they say do this, you do this or you get shot and left in the street to die. So it is what it is because they're not. If you got it, they don't want it, right? So the mentality is different.
Sure.
And I've seen so many posts on social media. Well, they're so much smarter than we are. Blah blah. No, they're not smarter. They're just scared of their government. Over here, we're like, we're going to do what we want to do.
And if we don't like the government, we'll change it. Well, I mean, that's what the country was founded on.
Right. So I think that's why I'm saying I think the ban, the stay-at-home orders and stuff like that will probably be lifted to a point where we'll semi back to normal. We're making money. The grocery stores will come. They'll come back to being normal, stuff like that. But I really don't think that they're going to do big meeting groups until probably August, September. Because here's the thing, most of the people that go to those arts fairs, our conventions, our home shows, and stuff like that, those are people that are typically immune compromised, and they're just trying to go to a safe space to do stuff. Because I was at, I was part of the arts crafts
Art show.
forever, right? So, and you'd see a ton of elderly, and you could see the ones with the oxygen tanks, and those people won't be able to go to stuff like that for a while.
Okay.
So that's right. Now I'm hoping, man, I hope I am so wrong, and people comment, see, you don't know what you're talking about. But if you look at the bigger picture, and I know the way we are, I mean, look out in California, they're having block parties. In California. There's a state that is locked down. The whole governor said, everybody, stay at home. We're done. Unless you're essential businesses and stuff like that, you're not supposed to be out. And what they do, they all 400, 500 people out there to have a block party.
Interesting. I was on the telephone with one of our vendors for the Fine Arts Festival, and it was the people that we get our walkie-talkies from, and they were in the San Francisco area, and they're still working, but she said everybody's being very respectful right now, but it's driving everybody crazy. Now, this was 10 days ago,
Right.
but
Well, I mean, and look, and it's all perspective. It's depending. And there's certain areas that are doing really well, and that's like Governor DeSantis won't shut down Florida because you still have too many counties that have zero.
do you have that map up?
Well, I don't know. Rob could probably find it. He's not getting my feet in here. But yeah, I mean, if you can go and look on. I got this off of Channel 2, but you can go to the COVID-19 cases in Florida. I mean, up in the Panhandle, in the what I call the armpit of Florida, there's no cases.
I see that.
Literally none.
That's really interesting.
Right? Miami is our hotbed, 400 plus. Broward's 255. Palm Beach 118. Polk County's 14.
But what is that?
I mean, and Hillsboro's 106.
Now, there we go. It's
Now,
up
see,
on the
right,
screen now.
so he does have it. So see, all these they're
But what's the gray area just above the Broward-Dade area?
right here,
Yes. Where there's nothing. That's really interesting.
St. Lucie.
It's on the coast.
Yeah, it's not being cooperative. Yeah. So there's so many that don't have anything. So, and I can get it, and it's just like DeSantis says. You get these. And I hate this. I'm using his words. These idiots that get out there and they do exactly what we tell them not to do. So,
Like spring break?
right. So when you get
that was awful.
right. So when you get all these people out there, it's going to take us longer to bounce back because we're not doing and we don't have enough tests now. The biggest problem that you have in the United States right now is the fact that the government wants to control everything. So all of our tests have to be FDA approved, right? You have to go through all the testing. Well, there are millions of tests outside of the United States where WHO said, hey, we'll give you a test. That's how South Korea jumped on it as quick as they did. That's how China jumped on it as quick as they did, because there is a test for this. But because the government has to have so much control of what we do.
USDA.
Or USDA, well, it's the FDA and USDA, they both. They will not let the out-of-country test. And I think Trump's the one going, we got to loosen this up so we can get the test in here and get these people tested. He was pushing for that. To me, if you got something in Britain, or you got something in Africa, or you got something in China that will test for this junk, get it over here.
Yeah,
and just do it. Just do it and get it over. Because we did on Tech Shamans on Monday. I honestly believe that if every American today got tested, the COVID-19 would be probably in the millions of carriers, not sick, but you got it. But I personally believe this stuff's been here since November, December, because my whole crew, we took this studio was down for a week, which we've never been down.
With the flu.
Did not test positive for influenza, but we had something the doctor said we have no idea what it is. But every symptom we had, we went and checked.
Oh.
Every symptom we had was verbatim. Well, when you call the CDC and go, "This is," I think I've got it, and they hit everyone. Yep, every one of them.
It was a different.
One
it just
them.
felt different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I understand why people. And in the beginning, when this all started coming out, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. We're overreacting. It's a low mortality rate. But
that was me too. But then,
I where I really got it broke down, I'm like, okay, it's fine. If they say quarantine, we're an essential business because we are news.
Right.
We're on every single day from 9 a.m. to midnight. We are people. If we're down, people let me know we're down. I don't have to worry about my system going, hey, you crashed, or internet went down. Thanks, Spectrum, blah blah blah.
Start ringing.
Phones start going, hey, you're down. Where are you at? What happened? So we know. So look, if you're told to quarantine. If you're immune compromised, quarantine. I make sure that I try not to be the carrier because I could have it and be just fine.
Same here.
And give it to somebody else who goes home, takes it to somebody. So we are a closed cell in the studio. Like when you two leave, we have shows coming in right after. When you leave, we wipe
Wipe
down
everything
everything.
down.
Everything gets Lysol, everything gets sprayed Lysol. We have disinfectant, so that way we don't ever.
I know, that was the thing I was asking you when I had guests coming in
Yep.
today. How are you dealing with these?
Everything gets clean. That's why there's no. Mine's different because, mine's over here. Barbara's is different because that is Barb's. We have one microphone that is her microphone. That's the only person who ever gets to use it.
The one with the
'Cause it's-
lipstick on it.
Exactly. We all know. So, so if you're told to do things, just do what they tell you to do. You're going to be fine.
Thank
If
you for saying that.
If you are immune compromised, stay home. Stay home and
it's
stay away
true.
from people. If you need, and I offered this on Tech Shamans. You need something delivered, and if I'm not busy, you pay for it. I'll go get it and I'll bring it to your house.
That's John.
So
That's John.
And I got a big truck. I got 2 big trucks. We got no problem. I got a trailer if I need.
I know.
Just don't ask me to go get toilet paper because I have no idea where that stuff's at.
I have
Toilet paper.
You know,
What is with this
I
toilet
have-
paper thing?
well, I had toilet paper for the Fine Arts Festival and paper towels because with the porta potties, I had
that's
5
right.
I
cases.
know where to go get toilet paper now.
No, wait a minute. I took it back. I had 5 cases, and each case had 148 rolls
Oh,
in
you were
it.
set for life.
Oh my God.
2030, she's retired and going, I still got 2 more cases of toilet paper. I'll never get rid of this stuff.
Nothing like being prepared, right?
Well, but that's what we go
Of course.
through probably
Yeah.
3 to 4 of those for the Fine Arts
Yes, you
Festival.
do.
Yeah.
And then we had 3 cases of paper towels and trash bags. The big trash bags.
Sure.
So
For all the bodies.
the bodies. But I mean, a lot of trash in this.
Yeah, no,
And
trust
I
me,
had
I've
six
hauled plenty.
big boxes of those things. I had close to $400 worth of paper products.
Oh, I can imagine, yeah.
So the Monday, here I've just taken a huge
Yeah.
6-figure hit this festival. So what do? Load all this stuff up and take it back to Sam's. And I'm going from the parking lot with one of those big flatbeds in.
In, not out. People are like,
Yeah, I was just going to say
are
that.
you dying and you don't
That-
need it?
Exactly. I was, my friend of mine said to me, "You took your life in your hands going through the parking lot like
know,
that."
I know.
Anyway, I walked in. I didn't have to wait in line. Customer service.
Oh,
It
my
was
God,
like,
that's
"We'll
great.
take you around over here." And she said, "Why are you bringing this back?" I said,
Yeah.
"We had a festival that was canceled. I'm not a hoarder."
I'm not a hoarder. I swear.
But I
A
did
confessed order.
but I did keep a case of paper towels and a case of toilet paper because that's what we go through for,
Of course.
pretty much for the year. So I did keep those ahead, but still, I mean, $400 worth of paper goods. I didn't need to be holding those until next year.
No.
We need it for our cash flow.
Right.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Well, I have to commend you for really stepping up and just rallying through that. I mean, that had to be like, what's going on?
Well, it's one of those things where I'm one of these people when you throw me into a foxhole,
Yeah.
I take a look out over and it's like, all right, how do you figure this out?
That's right.
I don't panic.
Right.
And despite my red hair, I really don't get emotional. But if I get really quiet, I'm either going to go into action or you better look out.
I know, right? Give me a fist bump on that one,
Yes.
girlfriend. You got it.
Because, people expect you to have
Yeah.
a short fuse and to go,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's like,
no.
this is...
That doesn't serve anyone's purpose. It really does.
Exactly.
Oh, by the way, if you guys are hearing noise, banging and banging,
The crackling.
my landlord, let me tell you, there are people working in this world
There's an
because my landlord decided this be a great time
to re-roof.
to re-roof.
And it's
that's-
directly overhead right
I don't
now.
know what they're doing. I have stuff dropping in here, like what?
well.
It's like raining. But anyway,
sounds
so
like there's
okay,
mice
so
running
all you
around
small
upstairs.
business, actually all you business out there, now is not the time. I'm just going to tell you from a business standpoint, from a marketing, now is not the time to stop your marketing.
I
Oh, my
so
Lord, no.
agree.
If now,
I
if
agree.
more than anything, now you need to market more.
That's right.
Yes.
And all you people that go, I ain't got time to get on Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. Well, now you
now's the time to learn
you
how
got
to do
time
it.
now, so
That's
get
right.
on there.
That's
Yeah.
right. It's so true. And, John, we've been in this TV business for a long, long time, and you've been video streaming for how many years?
17 years,
17 years, of course.
the oldest, longest streamer in Tampa.
Exactly. And
It's still in business.
that's still
Cool.
in business, exactly. And that's part of marketing.
Yeah.
Is video.
He's got the longest streamers in business.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Yep.
It's really
17.
true.
So we've been streaming since 2003.
That's That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, that was before it was even the buzzword.
Well, that's back in the day when you would tell people you're going to watch TV on your phone and computer and stuff like that. It looked like you had 3 heads.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Exactly.
the only thing back then it was the only thing people could see it for is corporately. Is just corporate. I'm like, nope, it's going to get bigger. It's going to get so much bigger.
That's right. But
So-
there are those that say that this is the newest and the latest and greatest thing, and John and I kind of like,
You know
okay.
what? I'm now looking for the next thing.
Okay.
Because this is
That's exciting.
We'll never get what get rid of our WeBeam TV. We're always just going to grow. But it's a saturated market now because everybody and their brother thinks they can.
Yeah, but it's a quality difference, and that's the thing
It
to
is.
explain
Well,
to
it
people.
is a big
There's a big
difference.
difference in quality.
So,
But
you
with
got some
businesses,
stuff on.
I've
you
got some stuff on
here
this. One of
too.
the things that let me share something that happened at lunchtime today or yesterday. One of my board vice chair called me up and said, I'm going to order lunch for you and Jack tomorrow. Are you going to be in? Yes, of course we are. And yes, the chamber is open.
They are open for business.
We are open. We do keep social distancing. Phone number, if you have questions on any of this, 727-937-6109. We're not putting it on our website simply because it changes so frequently
Right.
that it's really difficult to keep up with it on the website. But do call us 727-937-6109. And you can leave us a message. We'll get back to you when we can, usually the next day if it's after hours. But we're there from 10 until 5, Monday through Friday. They have closed our visitor center down at the Sponge Docks because it's a city building, and that happened yesterday. The purpose of that is for visitors to come in, and they felt that was non-essential.
Right.
The city of Tarpon Springs is open for business, but not open for coming in the door. So you can call, talk to people in all the various departments. You just cannot come into the building unless you have a specific appointment.
Don't drop by for coffee.
Nope. And if you're going to drive up and drop off your payment for something, you can do that as well. But and I made a bank deposit today. The lobby was closed, and this was in Tarpon, and it was okay. Drive through the drive-up window, which I had expected to do anyway.
Right.
But what happened at lunch today was named 2 of our restaurants in town, and what he is doing is ordering lunch every single day and sending it to somebody. He's buying lunch for his staff every day. This is Rich Lundell with Edward Jones in Tarpon Springs. And you talk about really making a commitment to the community. So he ended up, we texted him what we wanted from Tarpon Tavern, thank you, Dan, and had lunch delivered on Rich today. And
how
tomorrow
sweet.
it'll be somebody else. And he gave us a choice of 2 or 3 restaurants that was today. Tomorrow it'll be somebody else, and this is what he's doing to help keep businesses going.
Sure.
A lot of the restaurants, not a lot of them. Probably the 3 or 4 that I have had conversations with are going to continue paying their employees at their rate, but. Remember, servers
They're $4 an hour.
are, at a lower rate,
wage,
and they're
yeah.
missing their tips, but at least they're getting some income. That's really, as long as they can do that, they're able to do that. Other businesses, it just depends on what they're going to be able to do. Last night, the City Commission met, and they have closed all of the events through the 12th of May. So that means Wine Walk, First Friday, all of which were coming up. The Cinco de Mayo, big celebration down at the docks, all not going to happen.
Right.
All of the chamber networking events, which end up being, yes, more than 10 people.
Right.
My goodness. But the breakfast, the 1st and the 3rd, we had breakfast at Copenhagen on the 1st. It's usually about 25 people. That's been canceled. The 3rd Wednesday is breakfast at Johnny Grits. That's canceled. Our mixer, which was going to be at Currents, another one of our great restaurants that does takeout, that was going to be our mixer on the 2nd Wednesday. That's canceled. 4th Wednesday of the month, I can't remember where we were going to be, but that one was canceled as well. So going into May through the 12th, everything is canceled as far as that. Businesses are still open.
Yeah, people are open.
And so what they're planning to do is I got the call this morning The police are going to be putting notices out to all of the bricks and mortar that here's how you handle this. No more than 10 people in your store. That includes your employees.
Right.
So you have to monitor that, and they're going to be hand delivering this to all of the stores in Tarpon Springs so that everybody is particularly aware of that, because not everybody reads their social media or
Nope.
their emails, and they just
Well,
want
some
to make
people
sure.
don't have it.
That's right.
Well,
Yeah.
if you've got a business in town, yes, you do.
That's what I thought.
Okay, but anyway, they're going to be the police are going to be delivering them, and not to say we're enforcing this, but to just
Right.
because they're the ones who it's easier for them to go around and say hello to everybody.
Yep, true.
and see if there's any complaints and just kind of
Sure,
eyeball things.
sure.
So that was as of this morning. I was told don't be alarmed if this is happening. This is just what's happening. Wanting to know if the chamber was going to be open,
Right.
and the answer is yes. So. We had 2 buses that were coming in the next month that were coming over one coming from Tampa. We were working with a tour operator out of Indianapolis who had a group that was going to be spending a weekend here. They were going to come over on a Friday, go back to Tampa, come back on Saturday. We have a whole thing set up. You know, Chrysoula, who does our
Yeah.
Tarpon tours, was handling a lot of that.
I know. I talked to her today, and just so you know, she's going to be doing virtual tours.
Oh, neat.
And she wants to talk to you to give her some expertise on how to do that.
How to do virtual tours. Oh, she is amazing.
I know she is. I know.
She's become one of our strongest chamber networkers.
Yeah.
People come back with raves on the tours that she's doing. It's really good stuff.
She's an icon.
Yes.
Priscilla, if you're watching out there, we're giving you a free
And
plug.
where did she start? She started sitting in here.
Sitting right here.
Yes.
That's right.
And
That's
she
right.
came in here even before she knew exactly what she was going to be doing with the tours. But she took a lot of feedback from everybody and has really customized this. And she put together a pretty good 2 days for them. I made some tweaks on it, and she just dove in and did it. So I think there's going to be a lot of businesses that'll come out of this stronger.
Oh, I agree.
Well, I mean-
agree.
And probably leaner, too.
Well, I was going to say this is a way for a business to go, okay, here's my weaknesses and here's my strong points.
Yes.
Good point.
And
Very
here's
good.
what because this is, I'm looking at this is practice for hurricanes.
But except this, it's like getting ready for a hurricane. Except we get to keep our internet, we get to keep our electricity.
Exactly. But how many businesses? And I'm not. And again, I'm not pointing fingers, and I'm not saying shame on you or anything like that. But how many businesses don't have 2 months of reserves? How many businesses are like, oh my God, we don't have a plan B. Now I've always been one of those.
Yeah.
My plan A, and my plan B. My plan B is to go back to plan A. Because I know, but no,
Really?
I have reserves. I have I don't that I'm okay. Well, I'm in a world where I'm actually been more popular here lately than I have in a long time, because people are coming going, hey, by the way, I know you mentioned streaming and blah blah. I mean, they're all of a sudden now they're coming to us going, hey, we need to get our.
I didn't know he was popular.
I'm not.
Did you?
3 people have called me. To me, that's popular.
Well, we've been talking about that.
That's
when
why
all
he's in
this
a
came
taller
down.
chair.
And is that what it is?
Yeah, it makes me feel better.
It's okay, John.
I know,
We love
I
you.
know.
You don't need to sit on a high chair.
But it's
Social distancing there.
Exactly.
Oh, that's right.
So
Ooh.
see, everybody, you just said a while ago, you said, well, everybody's got Facebook. Actually, everybody doesn't have Facebook.
Yes, you're
So-
absolutely right on that.
And when you're a business and you're trying to stream stuff, and this is where everybody's calling me for, you need to be streaming to a website that's wide open, a platform, or to YouTube that's wide open so anybody can see it. Because if you send me a link going, oh, I'm live on Facebook, well, good for you, because I don't use Facebook. And if we're not friends, or if I'm not following your page, I'm not. And then on top of that, Facebook only allows 2 to 3%. So now you're only getting that what organic there is. You're not getting your message out there. So we're teaching people now over the phone, literally through Zoom, how to make this better. Because Zoom, it's amazing. Zoom has become everybody's best friends, and we've been
That's what I
using
hear.
Zoom for like 10
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Well,
We've been using them as long as they've been out.
We have done a couple of executive committee meetings with it, and everybody's like, no, we'd rather get together. Well, last Monday, we had an executive, or
Yeah.
last Friday, we did a state of what's going on with the Fine Arts Festival and used Zoom, and two of my executive committee members had never used it. And we did it, it was great.
Super easy.
We are
Exactly.
probably going to be using that on more than one occasion.
And that's what we've talked about. We're going to be doing that for business owners, right?
Yeah, I have
That
a couple.
whole thing.
Yeah, I have a couple clients that immune compromised, so he can't come in. So we zoomed him in, we zoomed his guest in, and what we did is we ran the show as if it was a normal show, right? His kid, he would come up full screen, Cuss come up full screen. We have him in double boxes, this whole 9 yards. Pull the websites up, play videos, show images. Then when you're done, you'd have never known that we were not. Other than the fact that they said they're in Zoom, you'd have never known.
Yeah.
It was.
And it's
It
co-
was.
But you wouldn't have a wide shot like this, though.
Actually, there is a wide shot. I actually can do that
No
because
kidding.
that's what we do. That's right.
What about background? How do you get the background the same?
We put an image behind. So we have a shot of this clean image that I put behind and then put the boxes
He actually
in.
knows what he's
and put
doing.
'em-
I'm
put
telling
'em right.
you.
I put and I kitty
I
corner.
had no idea. He really does know what he's
He
doing.
does, in spite of those
Little bit.
just a few lessons on
You'd have
YouTube.
thought, you'd have thought there was a TV right here and a TV right here, and they
yeah.
were both talking to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
No kidding.
He does.
That's pretty
I don't think I had a chance to tell you, but when we saw this thing coming, how many years have we been talking about getting our classes online?
Yeah.
Ever since you've known us, right? And when the you-know-what hit the fan, that's where they're going. As of this week, our classes, because in less than 3 days, we lost 6 classes per week, our
Yeah.
Tai Chi classes.
So
they're on
I
there.
was looking at the bill that they're supposed to pass.
Oh, yeah, let's talk about that.
Because that's kind of a big deal. Now, I'll say, so I went to Scribd,
Okay.
right? And Scribd has the breakdown of what they're doing, kind of. And there's 532 pages, which we're not going to go through.
Oh,
But if you
geez.
go through there, you'll be able to find who they're going to help, what they're going to help. They did 1,000 instead of 1,200. It looks like 2,000 instead of $2,400. And it's kind of amazing that if you don't know this stuff and don't follow it, that the law they're having to supersede is the old railroad emergency law.
Okay. Yes, I remember that.
Okay, so that railroad, that's still in effect. So that controls how we
Oh,
emergency
oh my
money.
gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
I had forgotten about that.
Wow. So now they're going to they're going to push it aside or something like that and they're not going to
push it. They're going to override it.
override it. And then they're going to, and
this
there's
is what I
also
used to
stuff
do
for
for a living.
self-employed, sole proprietorships, nonprofits. Yeah.
But the nonprofit part of it
Yes,
has a bugaboo in it.
it does.
And the nonprofit part of it, I
Yeah,
just
it's-
signed on a letter yesterday.
You did you? Well, this is from last night.
Okay.
This is the supposedly proposed. This has got the Medicare provisions in it, the public health provisions in it, the drug reviews, the users. Oh my gosh, I could keep going. It really is
Paycheck protection program. I
paycheck
remember
protection, insurance. You can't be laid off. Well, you can be laid off, but you can't be fired and blah blah blah. They're gonna ease up the restrictions on the unemployment, so it'll make it easier because they know it's not permanent. This is just a emergency layoff
that.
situation
And
where.
in the 1 week, the delay
Right.
is no longer in effect.
Because-
but the other thing is, one of the things that hit me when I first started looking at the first draft of some of this is that they didn't put anything in there. They were looking at the employment protection.
Right.
But they weren't looking at operating costs. And the operating costs for businesses are key.
Yep.
And the first phase of the SBA loan that came out was for profit businesses only. And of course, having just gone through this with the Fine Arts Festival, I'm a 501c6. And I wrote to Rubio's office and to Bilirakis' office, because we have good working relationships with both of those, and said, wait a minute, operating costs are very important in here, and what about nonprofits? And nonprofit does not mean that you're not making money. It's a tax status. And a lot of our businesses that you take for granted that are part of community organizations and keep things going are part of nonprofit designation. But there's C11s, there's C13s, and the chamber's a C6. C3s are what most people look at because those are the ones they can make make deductions with. So, and I got that to them verbally and in writing.
Yep.
But also the U.S. Chamber was on top of that and sent a letter out, and it went out yesterday morning. And the Little Tarpon Chamber got a signature on this as well,
Nice.
along with the whole list of all of these other ones, because it was like, look, we want to be in here. We're going to be getting more involved in policy, as you will see me in the next few years or next few months. But it's urging them, the members of Congress, to support, include nonprofits within the emergency assistance legislation, because chambers of commerce and trade associations
Right.
are all C6s in their workforce development, education, civic events, and their community support.
Yep.
So they're necessary organizations. So we're going to suffer. I've suffered a huge financial loss. If I didn't have a little bit of money in my Plan B, which we were just starting to build after the last 3 years, well, the last time this chamber had a financial crisis, we lost
Right.
our building.
Yep.
Not this time, but we've got a little bit of money in the bank, and we're going to figure this one out. Like I said, I'm in a hot foxhole. We'll figure out how to get there.
That's right.
But
Yeah.
I was really pleased, though, that we were able to jump on this one in time to be one of the signatures with all these big guys.
Right. And I'm going through I'm trying to get to the verbiage where they were talking about, so there's no personal guarantees for business owners.
Yes.
But you got to show tax returns for the last 2 years, I think it is.
Yes, but one of the things, and let me see if I can find it right here. It has to do with when you're applying for the one part that goes through SBA.
Right.
The small businesses are 3.75% and nonprofits are 2.75%.
Right.
But if it's for operating, that's one category. But if it's for payroll,
Right.
then once you get through this, if you can show them on your tax returns and on when you're going to file, it started out to be you then get the money back when you're filing on the quarterly.
Right.
That wasn't going to work for everybody.
Well, a lot of people
So-
can't float payroll for that long.
for a whole quarter, exactly. So what they ended up changing it to was taking it and saying, okay, if we've loaned you this for payroll to keep your employees on, and once we get through this, and I can't remember, I haven't read it enough to know the
They
time
only
frame.
do up to 12 weeks.
Okay, then once we get through this, if you can show that that's all payroll, it becomes not a loan, but a grant.
Right.
And then that's
no
it.
payback.
No
Right.
payback.
Which in my opinion is really, really good.
That's incredibly
Yeah, it is.
generous.
Well-
Now, operating funds, different issue.
Yep.
It'll be a longer-term loan, but it's not based on like a normal SBA 3-5-10. It's going to be based on 15-30, like a mortgage, so that you've got the time to pay it back.
Right.
But again, at 3.75 for small businesses or 2.25 for nonprofits, that's great. If
Yeah.
anybody who's listening is interested in looking at this, the web page for this is sba.gov/disaster-assistance/coronavirus-covid-19.
And this will change due to once they get to finalize and it pass.
Yes.
'Cause they still have to go through the House and Senate.
But you can still go ahead and file for the loan online right now.
Oh, can you really?
You can.
So they're going ahead and let people go now?
I called them and talked with them, and customer service said, go ahead, do this right now. And it will probably take a couple of weeks to get the loan once the application is submitted. But this is the first time we've seen any eligibility for nonprofits at all. But go ahead and file for it. You'll be asked to pick your state and county. All areas with the asterisk must be filled out. There's a blank sheet to write questions. They will contact you if they need anything. Again, The webpage is sba.gov/disaster-assistance/coronavirus-covid-19. Call our office. I can give that to you as
Yeah.
well.
Reach out to Jean, she'll help you out there.
But
We'll put this
that
on
was
our
the-
site.
But that was one of the things that we went ahead, and I just made the phone call and said, how does this work? And I
Right.
put this out to my members over my signature saying, do it now.
So now, is this going to be credit driven?
I don't know. I didn't ask that.
Yeah, or collateral driven, or are they going to strictly go off? This is like some people, like I know one person sitting here that's not done 2019 yet, but so they'll go off my 17 and 18 taxes.
I don't know. I didn't
the
get into
question
that.
I'd
I
like
was
to
just
know.
looking at how do we get money in their hands right away.
Well, yeah, but I mean, when people go to that website, they need to know that you're going to have 2 years of returns or 1 year of return, or is it going to be credit? Because there are a lot of, I know a lot of business people that they're doing okay, but their credit's not good because they are borrowing, begging Peter to pay Paul and trying to stay afloat and the whole 9 yards.
I don't know, but my gut feeling is that's not going to be the driving force like it is during normal times.
Okay.
So, and there'll be, there's also bridge loans for
Right.
Pinellas businesses.
Okay.
That if you go to www.floridajobs.org
Yeah, we'll put this all up.
/Rebuild Florida,
Yeah.
/business recovery, and there's an economic injury up to $50,000 for eligible small businesses, loans up to $100 in special cases. Those are terms of a year. These are other different things. Loans can be interest-free for that first year, then it'll be 12% after that. So this is the county one. So that's something a little bit different. This came down from.
And I'll check for Pasco, and if it is,
Okay.
we'll put it up on, we'll put it up in the show notes on the Facebook feed
Okay.
and the YouTube feed.
And
so that
I'll
way-
leave this for you to take a look at.
Yep.
But the SBA, this came from Cynthia Johnson, Dr. Cynthia Johnson, who heads SBDC, Small Business Development Center in Pinellas County.
Oh, okay.
So I didn't have access to either one. But yeah, there's just all kinds of phone numbers and that kind of thing.
You need to reach out to Jean at the chamber and let her be your guiding light.
Absolutely, absolutely. You absolutely leave no stone unturned.
Well, I used to be a lobbyist in Washington. Lobbyist was not a bad name. It's disseminating information,
right.
making sure people have information.
That's
And that's
right.
what I used to do in my previous life. So that's why when I came on this job, I immediately reached out to our representative, our congressman, and our senator that was closest and said, what can we do to work together? Now, quarterly, Senator Rubio's office has somebody in our office to do constituent relations in Tarpon Springs for an entire day.
See that? And that's because of you stepping right up.
And Congressman Bilirakis' office comes in and out. In fact, his representatives are at a lot of our networking events all the time because he's local and has an office
Maybe
there.
we'll work on getting our chambers together on a show, and then we'll have a couple of our representatives phone in so they're not having to travel here. Or they can Zoom in, which
Yeah.
is cool.
Yeah, yeah.
And then we'll do a little thing where people have some questions and we can talk to them. How's it going? Where are we going?
That would be great.
I'd love to get Governor DeSantis on.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah,
He's a little busy right
He's
now.
a little busy. I don't know why he wouldn't
don't
take
know.
time out for some little bitty OTV
I
station. in
don't
Portland.
have a contact there. My contacts are 20 years old. So, yeah, last one that I could get to was somebody in the Reagan
Well,
administration.
we had a show yesterday. We had a show yesterday. We had Mayor Castor phoned in on.
Amazing.
Oh, that's cool.
Well,
Love her.
She has issued an order that Hillsborough County, and what was it?
No, it's Tampa. Hillsborough County
Tampa,
has not
and-
agreed to it yet.
Well, just in, Hillsborough County leaders vote to enact stay-at-home curfew orders.
Oh, the curfew?
Hold on.
That word curfew is scary.
That was
'cause-
15 minutes ago.
Yeah, and it says curfew?
To go into effect later this week. During Wednesday's meeting, the County Emergency Planning Ground unanimously approved the two orders to go into effect 10 p.m. Friday. So that's the County Commissioner, Les Miller. All non-essential workers are asked to stay at home. Those who can't work from home must be 6 weeks away from coworkers and customers. And it goes on through a number of things. The exemptions are...
I'm 5.
Okay. The essential services are already agreed on, both directive and current. I mean, it's a lot of good stuff. It'll be on the news tonight, on all the news tonight. But the curfew then will be 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. At the city level, Mayor Jane Castor pulled out of the stay-at-home order for Tampa residents after vowing to enact it on Wednesday. So she's pulled out of that.
Well, yeah, the Hillsborough County did it for.
Yeah, and so...
She couldn't do it for Hillsborough. She could only do it for Tampa.
Correct.
So Hillsborough kept fighting her. Or not that they're fighting her, but they're like, no. So now
want to make
Hillsborough.
sure that
But Pinellas has done something similar, right?
Well, from what I understand, and let me see if
that's why I love technology. I don't got to wait for a phone call. We can go right here and look.
That's right.
Well, and I've got the alerts on here, so, getting what...
And this is live. You're
Yeah.
not going to see this later today or tomorrow. We're looking at it right now.
Yep, and so I don't have anything specific. I know that they're talking in Pinellas, but I don't know what's what yet.
Okay.
Because St. Pete said if whatever Tampa
Yeah,
decides,
Rick,
we
yeah.
will probably follow the same thing, but they have to go through their own process.
Yeah, because Hillsborough's got 106 confirmed cases. I think there's more. Again, like I said, if we tested everybody, I think it'd be amazingly high.
I agree. I think so, too.
Because sometimes you get it and you don't even know you got
Don't
it.
even know you have it. What was Pinellas?
Pinellas is 50.
50.
50. They got 50.
Pinellas-
Pasco, up here in Pasco, we've got 17. Because we don't like anybody anyway. We're like, just to get away from us.
Pinellas County issued a safer at home resolution about an hour ago.
Oh, okay.
Leaders are mandating that all residents stay at home except for essential needs. The initiative takes effect Thursday, March 26th at 12 p.m. So is that midnight tonight?
Tomorrow. Yeah, midnight
No,
tonight.
12 p.m. is
Yeah, midnight tonight.
midnight tonight.
No, 12 p.m. is
noon. Okay,
12
Thursday.
a.m. is midnight.
Well, so noon tomorrow will continue so long as they're declared local state of emergency in Pinellas. And they should only leave their homes to meet essential needs such as food, healthcare, laundry, and outdoor recreation.
And liquor.
Well, yeah, that's down here under our activities list.
I can't believe that's on there. It's like liquor. Liquor stores are okay. It's okay to go to a liquor store.
Well,
if there's alcohol there, it'll kill everything.
But,
I thought about that.
that will not force
Doesn't mean you
golf
can drink
course-
more.
Pinellas County commissioners say the measure will not force golf courses or boat ramps to close as long as social distancing rules are being followed. It does not force non-essential businesses to close as long as they are meeting CDC guidelines.
Right.
Businesses that do not comply will be subject to the appropriate enforcement action. Okay. So, new rules, safer at home, retail, stores, post notice of safer at home resolution. And that's what I was talking about. The
Yeah.
police are going to be distributing all of this. So it's a stay at home order, but it's not quarantine.
Right.
And actually, the quarantine in China, I was reading on a website a couple of days ago, the quarantine in Wuhan, they were talking, the blog came out, and it was a teacher from Colorado. He had left and gone over to there to teach, right in the middle, right just before all this happened.
Right.
Okay, so here he is 56 days into this, and this is what's happening. And he did one of these. It's not like you're stuck in your house. If you want to go out on March 2nd, he said, and I needed to go, and the only things that are open are grocery stores, pharmacies, essentials. I don't think liquor stores in China are considered essentials. I
And
don't
they
know.
make their own rice wine at home anyway. So
Anyway. But they ended up.
I've been there. I know. I've seen
I've
it.
been there as well. I spent 9
You
days
get to
there. It
walk
was the
down
most
these little
amazing.
bitty
It's amazing.
these little bitty alleyways, and there's all these little bitty things, and they make their own stuff.
Yeah, it's
awesome.
It is an amazing country.
Yep.
Capitalism and communism side by side, amazing. But that's another story for another day.
Hong Kong, free Hong Kong.
So anyway, he said, if you go out, and he said, I went out on the 2nd of March to go to the grocery store. I have a card that I get punched on the number 2 for this month. I then come back. I'm back in at 2. I can't go out again on 2, can't go out on 3, can't go out on 4. 5, I can go back out again if I need to go do something. That's all.
Yep.
And he said, so it's not house arrest. It's not...
How much TP did he store away?
Well, it's probably, come on. Something that I find
They have
amazing.
bidets there.
But even baby wipes, come on, please. And please don't flush those people. Oh,
I know, even if it says it's flushable, they are not.
no, they don't dissolve. But the thing is, diapers. Remember diapers when our kids were little? Real diapers.
Yes, yes.
And
the
so-
kind that you wash.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not wearing a diaper.
No.
I don't have the legs for it anyway. I got the gams, but not the upper legs. I'm just saying. You do not want to see me in a diaper. That's coming. That's like when I'm older.
What a way to close the show.
I know, anyway. You got to have some levity.
You
I
do.
did
You
not.
do.
I can't unsee that now.
I know. Thank you.
I know.
Thank you, and you're welcome.
No, I mean, but you can wash the washcloth.
Yeah.
Come on. I mean, it's like, good
I know.
grief.
No one's ever, it's like these kids today are like, cloth diapers? What? I'm like, yeah, don't you remember?
Life is
we
not
had 'em.
disposable, people.
Nope.
Yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
all about disposables.
No.
And so,
So if you got any questions, reach out to Tarpon Springs Chamber of Commerce, especially if you're a chamber. Look, for all you people that are watching this that are other chamber people, reach out to your chamber where you remember at. Make sure that you call them and ask them. They have information. Jean,
Oh my gosh!
she's ready to go. She's ready to rock and
This
roll.
is the Jean Show.
And I'm pretty sure if
love
you
it.
call her and give her your email, you get everything that she just got right back at you, and you'll have plenty of information.
well,
Am I correct?
it's what, like I said, this is what I used to do. Lobbying is disseminating information. So I was right on this because I knew that was the first thing. If you're a member of the chamber, you've already gotten most of this already last week, a lot of it.
Right.
I got this stuff out the door as soon as, including the thing that I was just reading about, this is how you apply for the SBA loan. This is off my phone conversation. I had 2 or 3 of these. Well, I just put my name on the bottom of it. It wasn't an announcement from somebody. It was, this is real information.
Right.
This is what the conversation
Right.
was.
Right.
So
Can
that's,
you send that to me?
yeah, yeah. So
Send me all that stuff.
this is what we do for our members.
See,
This is
be
more.
a member.
That's
This
right.
is not parties, parades, and pageants. No, we don't. We're not going to be doing pageants. We do one parade every year. It's called the Christmas Parade. And the events that we do, they're not parties. We do have a good time. Trust me, we have a good time.
It's a blast.
But it's the kind of thing that really does promote people's businesses.
Of course it does.
But when it gets right down to it, this is what we're all about.
And
Right.
exactly, and it just lends to your integrity. And you personally, Jean, I think you've done a marvelous job. And that's what we do here for My Chamber TV. I mean, bringing this, thanks to John, Tampa Bay Multimedia through WeBeam TV.
Yes.
Video streaming live right here. I mean, you guys just gave information right here on the spot.
The real information that people
Yes,
can use.
yes.
And that's the thing. Thank you for coming up with the idea to do this.
Yeah, I was afraid we were going to cancel. I'm like, oh, no, we can't cancel. I don't want to cancel. I hate
No,
canceling
it was
shows.
like,
I know.
no, I
I'll
didn't.
go out of my way to make sure shows go. But, this is one of those things where, people need to know.
Yeah.
Well, when you
You
said, can you
need
do this?
to do-
I said, I'm on it. I will. I will.
She came
get
with
it.
more information than I did. I just got a laptop with a screen over here, and I'm looking at everything. So.
No, I've got my notes. And
But
like
it's
I said,
good because we can get this information out to you. And if you're a business owner out there and you have not joined a chamber, do so. Call Jean. You will love sitting down and talking with her. And always tune in here because we are video streaming live daily. How many shows?
25 a week.
25
right?
a week.
We're streaming
Yes.
now on the website, Facebook Live, the whole day,
Yeah.
YouTube and Twitch. For all you gamers out there, I know you're gamers, but if you got them, that's where we're at.
Twitch.
Twitch. Well, that's what they do after they play video games all day. Hey, thank you for watching. We'll see
Yes.
everybody next week. You guys have a safe, and remember, wash your hands.
Yeah. And
Bye.
don't hoard. Bye.